I was heading north. As far north as the road, there was only one, could take me from my home province of Quebec. Those 3 days on the road allowed for a necessary mental transition, my opportunity to gradually disconnect from the bustle of our modern world and to make peace with the uncertainty that is intrinsically part of every expedition deep into the wild. In total, I drove about 2,000 kilometers into Labrador and right over the 53rd parallel to the town of Happy Valley Goose Bay. This was as far as the road would take me. I then transferred my 58 kilograms of food and gear onto a DHC-2 Beaver, the quintessential Canadian bush plane. Jim was my local pilot, as well as the last human being I expected I would talk to for an entire mile.
Poor bugger, you gotta carry that?
Eventually, after
So I
I'm
talked.
not moving much for 10 days or 2 weeks, so I'll drop.
We needed to seize the first break in wind and weather, and that window came in on the morning of August 16th.
You put the life jacket on, you don't pull it till you're outside. Okay. We're gonna warm up, we'll wait for the temperatures to come up, and we'll take off, go straight out.
I had provided Jim with the exact GPS coordinates of where I wanted to be dropped off. Despite his 40-year career flying in the region, he had never attempted to land there, but he knew very well of the particularly rough and unpredictable conditions in that area. My destination, which, spoiler alert, almost turned out to be my final destination, is known as the Mealies. This mountain range is part of Canada's newest and least visited National Park Reserve, a 10,000 square kilometer area of pristine wilderness in Innu territory. Isolated by natural barriers of vast wetlands, dense boreal forests, raging rivers, and sheer vertical cliffs, these mountains are as remote as it gets, and without a single trail of any kind or infrastructure whatsoever, they can only be accessed by air in summer. As we approached my drop-off spot, a localized patch of bad weather forced us to figure out a new one, right there, literally on the fly. The adventure had begun, and I hadn't even landed yet. I didn't know it at the time, but I would be the only recorded human presence in the Mealy Mountains that entire summer, and most likely the longest recorded solitary human presence. And I was about to find out why. My plan was simple, well, in theory at least. The first phase would consist of setting up a base camp, from which I would branch out, hiking the highest peaks of the Mealies for about 2 weeks, hopefully doing some first ascents on the way. With 2 weeks of food remaining and less weight to carry, the second phase would have me pack raft and hike my way back to civilization in complete autonomy. That meant no assistance from or communication with the outside world, except in the event of an emergency using a satellite communicator. Not having a single food drop meant that I would have to carry 2 loaded packs over 250 kilometers in some of the most difficult and harsh conditions I had ever been through. This was the first such recorded solo attempt, so there was no information I could find about possible exit routes or much detail, if any, about the actual terrain. I had to think up my own way out using Google Earth, government topographical maps dating back over 40 years, a traditional Innu winter migration route, and anecdotal information from Innu elders and trappers.
So yeah, you guys can't see it probably, but there's a bear swimming right there. I've been on this beach for like 20 minutes. I saw bear tracks and cub tracks, and so I decided to inflate my pack raft to get out of here. And what do I see in the middle of the water? A bear. I'm getting the heck out of Bear Beach. I'm gonna start going along the shore, trying to find a place to pitch camp with less bears. I escaped Bear Beach alive after 20 minutes on this expedition, and I just found this place. It looks pretty good to me. I have a small beach that I can land on right there. I have this big rock right here where I'm planning on setting up camp, and I have a good view of the surroundings. I can see bears coming. I have fresh water. I have a stream running right there to get my water and to be able to recharge my things with my water turbine. So it's looking good.
Even though I got fresh daily reminders that bears were roaming around, they did not actually end up being my biggest problem. My nemesis would turn out to be much smaller, tiny in fact. It was the black flies, hundreds of them around me at all times from dawn till dusk, and each one obsessed with the exact same mission: to suck the blood out of the slightest piece of skin on my body that they could get to. Oh, and if you thought mosquito bites were bad, well, try a bite from a black fly that can itch for days. I had expected the first few days of adaptation to my new environment to be rough. They always tend to be. But this was on a whole other level.
What you hear is not rain hitting my fly, it's the bugs.
It got so bad that after a sleepless first night of suffering a bout of what is known as black fly fever from the countless bites, I simply could not conceive how I would be able to make it another day, let alone 4 weeks. I mean, I couldn't bear the thought of doing anything outside my little tent. Every single aspect of my camp life was affected. Washing my hands or face, brushing my teeth, doing the dishes, preparing meals, eating, even drinking water was out of the question. Any task that required any skin to be exposed meant that I would be paying for it for days to come. As the days wore on, I figured out a way to get some fluid and nutrition into me without having to go through the painstakingly long process of getting in and out of the tent each time. I would hike to the top of mountains closest to my base camp and eat my lunch up there. And so the wind became my savior and allowed for much needed respite. These moments felt so liberating. To get a break from the constant buzzing in my ears, to feel the sun on my face, to finally be able to indulge in the land's bounty that laid at my feet, to simply do the most ordinary of tasks that would otherwise be taken for granted.
I don't know if a shower felt so good and never in life and so cold.
And the view, my God, the view. Looking out in every direction and as far as the eyes could see. Not a single reminder or sign that I was on the same planet as the rest of my species. And with no communication with the outside world, I couldn't be more alone. Yet not once did I feel lonely. I think the best way to describe what I felt out there is a sense of deep fulfillment by the opportunity to take in the perfection of the moment.
Here's my camp right there. In order to get in the tent, I ran to get as many off of me, and then I came back running with my shoes off and everything, and I just jumped in. It's a race against the flies. They all get in super fast, and then I have to spend the next 5 to 10 minutes killing each one. It's crazy. I just thought I finished killing them all sector by sector in the tent, and then I take off my jacket and there's like 30 more that come out. They were inside of my hoodie. Look at this. These are all my kills. Another one. Oh, the southeast sector. And then in the northern sector right there. They're easy to kill, that's the good thing.
The time spent on my base camp really put my creativity to the test. I needed to find ways to minimize the need to get out and back into my tent.
So I had this can. It was the only piece of non-dried food that I brought, and I brought it for the first night when I got dropped off. It was peaches to enjoy on the first night. So now I just found a great use for this.
It's going to be a pea pot. This is so convenient. I mean, my whole tent life, I went from a 2-star hotel to like a 5-star hotel. Just to go pee, it was like a, I don't know, 20-minute affair, right? And now this, imagine in the middle of the night. Oh. This thing is great. It's like a faucet inside my tent. I'm actually considering something that is a no-no in camping. I think I'm going to cook inside the tent. It's not great for bears, but I was seeing bears the first few days, and now just nothing. So it's like they know I'm here and they just stay away because they're not used to human beings, right? If these were bears that were used to human beings, they would associate human beings with food, and then they would come around the tent. Almost no animal likes to be around us, so understandably. What can I say? Desperate times, desperate measures. So what does that tell you? That I'm actually more afraid of bugs than I am of bears. So what I'm doing is getting everything ready for 3 days. So I'm taking this bag and I'm putting 3 days worth of food in it because I'm going to head out to climb the highest peak of the Mealy Mountains, and it might take me up to 3 days. It should only take me 2, but just in case I'm taking an extra day. So I'm leaving a lot of my stuff here to go as light as possible. I have thought of a good technique to keep it away from bears. So I'm gonna put everything in this bag and then hang this bag off a cliff. So I'm heading to that cliff up there. I'm now heading to make the ascent of Mount English, so it should be a 2 to 3 day little camping trip inside another camping trip. I'm just hoping that the weather holds out because it's very nice right now, and you never know when you start going up high, it can switch very fast. So let's just keep our fingers crossed. This is the ridge line that I need to follow. I finally see the ridge. I'm almost there. Ah, it's been a lot tougher than I thought. These are caribou tracks. The lichen, it's what they eat. I can see that there are no berries, so I'm thinking there probably aren't too many bears up here. This is more caribou territory and by extension wolf territory. Say you wouldn't happen to have seen any wolves around here? No? Look at this water. Perfection. Right there. Home for the night. Now I just need to find a good spot.
Surprise, surprise. Today is the day that I was supposed to climb up Mount English, and I get up and it's pouring rain, of course. So I'm taking it easy this morning, hoping it's gonna pass.
There's just way too much fog. Even though it stopped raining a little bit, it would be too dangerous to try and get to Mount English in weather like this. Plus, I mean, there's no point. You just wouldn't see anything. So even with the extra day worth of food, I'm a bit stressed about how long I might have to stay out here. Look at that, a clearing. The fog is starting to dissipate, but it's 5 p.m. now, so way too late to start the ascent, but it's a good sign for tomorrow. Oh, this feels so good. Finally seeing something other than just white. Nice. A view. Well, same story as yesterday, but even worse, it's colder. I can't see a thing outside. I'm gonna need to make a decision today because I can't hold out here much longer, so either way I think I'm gonna have to move, which will be very dangerous to move in this fog, but if I don't have the choice, I don't have the choice to go back. One nice thing about this weather is no more black flies, and the mosquitoes are completely lethargic, so they're not even biting me right now. I see them, but they're just sort of trying to hang on to life. As we all are, as we all are. I'm making myself some hot chaga tea just to warm up a bit. I have a hard time staying warm. It's windy, it's cold, it's foggy, it's wet, and you can't get any worse than this. For hypothermia, it's one of the most dangerous things that you have to watch out for. The fog is dissipating a little bit and it stopped raining, so there's not even that fine rain anymore. This is my chance, so what I'm gonna do is eat before I go, because once I start going I'm not gonna want to stop. So I'm gonna eat an early lunch and then pack up and try to head back to base camp. It's hard to accept giving up on your objectives. That mountain, it's within my grasp, you know, it's right there, and I have to give up on it. I have to get back because I don't know when I'll get another chance. So this is it. At least I saw it from Mount Lookout. I got a good look at English Mountain. My big challenge today is navigating in this fog. It's trying to find my way back to that ridge. But I want to take a shortcut because I don't want to have to go back over Mount Lookout to get to the ridge, right? I can just go around Mount Lookout. So that's what I'm trying to do, but it's a route I haven't taken, so it's very hard to know which way to go. So I'm just basing myself on my maps and on what I saw the day that I arrived when it was still clear. Look at this. In a big white cloud. You see, it's in these situations that these things come in handy. I marked important spots along the way. This was where I had lunch on my way up, and I was right on the ridge. So I'm heading my way there completely blind, just using the GPS. You know, when you're so happy about the decision you made. Oh man, had I stayed up there. This morning is terrible. The whole mountains are filled with fog and it's raining, and I mean, wow. At least yesterday I got a sort of okay day, you know, it was foggy but it cleared up a bit and it didn't rain so much. Today would have just been awful, and with no food too. It looks like another day of staying in my PJs. It's like a storm out there, and this is rough.
It's so cold. The temperature really dropped and it's wet and damp. Everything is wet. I have a water leakage problem inside the tent. Sometimes you just have to hunker down and wait out the storm. My shelter just fell. The wind is just too strong. I'm just hoping it's not gonna fly away. And it's like a hurricane out here. And I hope the structure of the tent is strong enough. I had to reconfigure my shelter. It was coming down. I hope this is going to hold. I can't get in with all my clothes because they're drenched. And the tent is just like crushing down on me. I don't know if it's gonna hold. I'm really putting it to the test. So I've added this extra structure pole right here to hold the tent down because it was really starting to lean and I was afraid it was gonna break. This seems to be doing a good job. It's really holding it up. And this is getting from bad to worse. It's not at all letting go. If anything, it's increasing in strength. Bad news. I have another 24 hours of this. So all I can do now is get in dry clothes, get warm, hide away my sleeping bag for the next 24 hours because it's gonna drop tonight. I mean, the shelter is there. I have my food and my stove right there, so I should be able to cook. I should be good in here in the warmth of my sleeping bag, waiting it out. So that's the plan. That was a long night, but at least the tent held up. That's what matters. So another few hours of this and it should be over. I see rays of sunshine. I've been in this sleeping bag for about 18 hours. So I don't know if I've ever stayed in bed that long in my life. This is so exciting. Look at this. I feel the warmth of the sun. Wow. Now, I haven't seen the sun in something like 4 days, 5 days. I don't know. But the worst was really the last 24 hours held up in here. Oh man. I can't wait to get outside. Blue sky. It feels good to stretch the legs. To be standing upright like we were meant to be. Today is a big day. Normally I was supposed to stay out here for about 2 weeks and then start moving to make my way back out of these mountains. But I've realized the terrain is very, very hard to travel through. And I think it will take me a lot longer. So today I'm gonna move from this camp and start making my first camp along my exit route. I'm a lot heavier than I was supposed to be. I have a lot more food. It's what I have to do. Otherwise I'm not gonna be able to make it out on time, and I only have 4 weeks worth of food. So today is moving day. I'm now leaving my base camp. I'm heading towards the south end of the lake. There's a river running out of it. The problem is that this river has a lot of rapids at the beginning, so I'm gonna have to portage. And as you can imagine, with all the gear I have, that's gonna take me basically the rest of the day to just get to the other side. So the first trip is all my gear.
and the second trip is all the food and the pack raft. You know, 2 weeks before starting on this expedition, I did a half Ironman. That was good training. Good training for this. I've left all my stuff back there, most of the food and the pack raft and all that, and I'm heading away from the river. Why, you may ask? Wasn't I supposed to start along my exit route today? Well, guess what? When I decided to start moving along my exit route, I strategically chose a camping spot that would allow me another attempt to Mount English, given that the weather would permit. And guess what? It's not looking so bad. So, ta-da! I'm heading in that direction, and over there, right, the furthest one you can see is Mount English. So the first attempt I had tried was from the east straight, and now I'm coming in more from the south. So it's following this river on the left side here. I took the food for just a night because I'm actually a little bit closer than I was using this camp. So I'm gonna give it a try in 2 days. So hopefully today I go past where I had camped the first day and I put up a high camp there, and then tomorrow morning, baby, this is it. I'm going for it a second time. This is exciting. Man. I saw a nice stream right here, so I thought I would find a place to camp around here, and this little piece of snow or ice that looked like nothing is actually full of holes. You could see the river running under. And there is a crossing. Now, find a spot to camp. And voila, my campsite. Tonight, I will be sleeping in the shadow of a giant. I can't believe this day. I mean, look at how beautiful it is. I'm so happy I decided to give it another try. You see, sometimes you have to know when to let go of your objective, your goals, and to accept it, And sometimes you gotta keep reaching for them, right? You gotta keep going for what you want to do, and don't give up so easily. Well, I'm not gonna talk too fast, but it looks like a good day to be summiting. I think this is the highest point of the Mealy Mountains. Oh man. Wow. Yes! Yes! I've reached some small rapids that weren't on my map, you see, so this is one of the types of problems I'm expecting to run into. They're too shallow, so there's no way I can go down. So I'm gonna go down like this as far as I can without being in the kayak, and then I'll have to do a small portage. So that's an extra portage, and every portage, however small it is, takes easily like 30 minutes or an hour, because you have to take everything out of the boat and then carry the stuff one at a time, and then get in the boat again. And I was hoping I would only have to do those that I have marked on the map. So I've just portaged around the first set of rapids, and I didn't pack my raft so well because the second one is just coming right here, so I'm gonna have to stop anyways and do it all over again. And if I have to do this as many times as I've had to do just in the first half day, this is going to be long. I'm so thirsty, I haven't been able to drink because of the flies. I can't take off the net. And I'm exhausted. It's so heavy. I've had to do this portage thing. This is like the third or fourth time. And I've just started today. And I have another one right there. I'm just exhausted, and so I'm just gonna stay here, watch the sunset, drink some tea, and turn this day into a very beautiful evening. So I was about to exit that lake along one of the larger rivers, like the ones that about 50% of my route is made of. And what does the river look like? It looks like this. Now, no need to tell you that this is a serious problem. My other problem is the scenery completely changed since I left my lake. Look at this. It's boggy forests. Good luck if you want to step 5 steps in there. Like, there's no way. You just can't move through this. I'm moving with a kayak and with my backpacks, and there's just no way. No way I could possibly portage around these things. Okay, so I'm paddling back upriver. I need to rethink my entire exit plan. So I'm looking for a spot to camp. I'm just gonna stop here and take the evening to think through and come up with a solution. So if it's not this route, I'll find a way. But I am making my way out of the Mealy Mountains on my own.
The route I had chosen because it would allow me to pack raft because I have too much weight. There's no way I can carry all this stuff. The most logical way was to cross the entire range of the Mealy Mountains from east to west, because that offered the most gradual descent. That's not going to happen anymore. The objective is to get to Lake Melville, because Lake Melville is the big lake that borders all of the Mealy Mountains to the north. And wherever I can get to that lake, then I can just follow that lake back to Goose Bay. So from here, I am going to make my way back north using some pack raft and some hiking. So I will try to find a route. I think I found one, but the problem is that my map cuts off here, my detailed map. I have a less detailed map here, but that I can't use this to navigate. So I don't really see how to access the lake. So I might have to climb some mountains on the edge and then try and look down to see what the terrain looks like and try and find the best approach down to the lake. So that's the new plan.
Now this new route I'm going back towards the mountains and leaving these forests behind, it's probably gonna be overall the same distance. It's just that there's gonna be a lot more elevation gains and losses this way, but it'll be shorter to get to Lake Melville, and then I'll be longer on Lake Melville. So probably the first week is gonna be the riskier part, going through the mountains and then coming down from the mountains from a high elevation. So that'll be the challenge.
I have identified the mountain I want to climb that will allow me to get a better look at how to get down from these mountains, but obviously today would not be the day.
Thought I was going to spend the day holed up in the tent, but as it was raining this morning, I figured, well, what can I do to sort of help me move forward a bit? And the kayak I had left back at the lake, and so I decided to portage it to the next lake over, which is further north. And as I get there, I see just a beautiful place to set up camp, a nice fast flowing river for my water turbine, so much nicer than where I am right now. And the other thing is that this new camp brings me closer to the mountain I want to climb in order to get a better view to find a new exit route.
I needed to climb the highest mountain in the area to have a clear view west all the way to Lake Melville, to see if the series of lakes that I thought I could use on my map were navigable and if it wasn't too forested. I can't see the final descent to the lake, but at least up to pretty far it looks very good. So I'm very happy with the exit route. I guess it should take about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 days to get there, and then that'll give me another week to cross Lake Melville and get back to Goose Bay. So the plan looks good. Bad news this morning. The wind is even stronger than yesterday. It's like the Mealy Mountains, they don't want to let me go. You know, whatever I try, there's something. Like yesterday was such good news. I saw this series of lakes I could use for my new exit route. The problem is I can't get to it. There's no way to get there. There's a barrier of mountains, of high peaks between me and those lakes. And the only place through is this little bottleneck, this funnel that's on this lake. It's like a canyon, and all the wind that's coming from the west has to go somewhere, so it goes through this funnel. So that's why the wind is so strong there. And I just checked the weather for the next week, and for the next 4 days the wind is coming from the west. So I'm stuck here. If I want to pack raft out, I can't. There's no way. So my only option is to try to hike around the lake, hoping I can get through the canyon without getting in the water. I'll see. If I can make it through, then that's great. I'll take 2 days to portage around this lake. If not, then I'll just pack raft my way back, right? The wind's gonna push me back here. And then, I don't know. The other solution would be to hike over mountains, but man, portaging all this stuff would be completely insane.
This is not working. I'm moving so slow and it's so dangerous. I could fall in the water anytime, and I have so long to go. Man, 2 only options left really. There's waiting it out like 4 days till the wind eventually comes in another direction, if the forecast is right, and then I can start going. The other option is to use those 4 days to hike around this. So to go over this mountain right there, there's a small pass down there, so I could hike around. I think it would take me maybe 3 days of hiking with all my gear back and forth over this mountain.
I think I'm just gonna go for it and hike. Realized it as I was doing it, but you know, going up and leaving all my food up there, it's a hard to reach place if anything happens. It was a risky move, you know. Sometimes you gotta take some risks. So I'm here. I have enough food for tonight and for tomorrow morning and lunch, but I do have whatever happens to get up there by then.
Today is the big day. Woke up bright and early, and the plan is to go over to actually make camp on the other side of this mountain. Hey, this morning the lake is much calmer. It's yeah, I'm almost tempted to try to paddle it. The problem is the food's up there now. Alright, I'm making a run for it. Let's see what happens. So if it works, it saves me carrying that backpack right over that mountain, and I'll just have to go from the other side to get my food this afternoon. So let's cross our fingers. I was not expecting this. I'm just gonna hurry to get through because I have no idea when the wind will pick up or whatever. But had I known, man, that trek yesterday up that mountain with the food, I would have just chilled. This is so beautiful. Wow. So I just made it through what felt like this epic gateway between the east where I was stuck and the west where I want to go. Now my biggest worry is really my food. Hopefully I can find a route. I have to find a route. All my food is there. I just have lunch for today. That's it. So I've made it to the end of the lake, but it's very hard to hike out of here. It's all wooded. I can't walk through this. This is insane. And to go up those cliffs. So it's gonna take me longer because I'm gonna need to hike around that mountain there and to set up camp real fast so that my stuff are protected if it rains. The good news is that I can leave with an empty backpack. I'm seeing my pack raft, it's blowing into the water. I could see it from on top there. It's on the edge and every time it flips, it gets closer. Okay, I'm gonna drop my pack here. I'm gonna make a run for it. Come on, stay with me. Pack raft, stay with me. It still looks tied. It was attached by two and this one cut. It must have been blowing crazy hard all day. Where's my tent? I can't remember where I put my tent. Oh. Holy, do you see this? I mean, hanging by a thread. Look at this. This is what's holding everything from being in the water. What? How is that possible? Look, it's like it's a foot from the water. I can't believe it's hanging this much off the water. All my stuff.
I'm on strike this morning. Man, that was a rough night. It poured and the wind. Looks like it's a cloudy day. It's all covered up and wet. It's a good day to stay in the tent. Today I need a plan where very few things can go wrong. I'm just gonna wait until it clears up maybe a bit. If it does, or it stops raining, and then I'll just portage my camp at the entrance of the bigger lake that I need to cross next.
So the plan today is to go up to the edge of the plateau and I should be able to look down and see the lake and try to find the best route down.
You hear that? Me neither. It's so amazing, it's so quiet. It's so peaceful. It's still. Yeah, I'm gonna miss this. We seem to have reached the end of the line for the pack rafting. A bit earlier than I thought, unfortunately. Yeah, this sounds like big falls. So I guess this is it. I've reached the end of the plateau. But look at that. Right there, the blue, that's Lake Melville. This is such the moment of truth of the expedition. Up till here, everything that happened, there was like a plan B or something. Here, it's this or I don't know. I think I can move from one rocky summit to the other. And that should be my main plan. And in between, there's going to be forested valleys and it's going to be messy. What I know is what I'm seeing from here, and I can't see much. So I don't know where I'm going into, you know. I might start going and then end up in these forests that are just way too thick to move through, and then I have to come back here, and then I don't know. So that's really the hardest part.
The worst night. I barely slept. Cord, one of the guy lines snapped. I had to get out in the middle of the night. I went out 2 or 3 times in the rain. I had to hold the tent down. And the tent like wanted to fly off. It was horrible.
Tomorrow I head around and over the ridge, and from that ridge I should have a beautiful view of the lake, camp up there, and then the next day find a way down. I've made a decision. I'm going to leave tomorrow with one backpack with everything. It's gonna be crazy heavy, but this back and forth is just killing me.
It hasn't been a good night again. And now I just need to get out of here. And it's freezing cold. So my big plan right now is just to eat breakfast as fast as I can and then get out of here. This is it, the final stretch. Let's do it. This is one heavy pack. I
can't afford to go the wrong way. So I have to go do a little reconnaissance and see which way would be the best way to go, and then come back, grab the pack and go. So it's still back and forth, but at least there's one of the return trips that's not loaded at all. Give you my little haven of peace for tonight.
Finally a calm night. Man, I needed that. It feels so good. It's perfectly still night. No rain, no wind. Finally could sleep. I really found a little paradise here. Perfect day to exit the Mealy Mountains. But I don't want to speak too soon, so we'll see.
Looks so close, doesn't it? It's so crazy. You know, like 22 days ago, I was dropped off here. I have float plane in the middle of these remote, inaccessible mountains, and I had like two main objectives, right? Like to explore the highest peaks and climb some of them, and to make it out on my own, you know. And I accomplished the first objective, and that was amazing after overcoming all these obstacles. And now I'm almost at the end of accomplishing the second objective. I am so close. It's hard to explain the feeling. I've been given a beautiful day. I'm so happy. And let's try and see what we can do. Another dead end. I left camp almost 3 hours ago, and camp is right there. I just like doing a star like this. Hit another roadblock. I can't even get out of this place. I try to get up through this valley. It's too much bush, too much forest. So I have to go back on my steps. I have to try and climb the highest there, and then go around that way. I've decided to not take the backpack. I just can't carry the backpack. If I'm gonna end up not being able to go down this way, I have to be sure. Okay, I think I found a way. If I can get to there, and I think I can, then it sort of seems to be sloping down okay. And then I can join that ridge that I want to follow. I think it's gonna work. I just need to be able to bring my backpack here. Come on. Ah. I'm limping just above my knee right here. I don't know what I pulled, but and it just hit me now as I was sort of cooling down. It just got really bad. I can't bend my knee, and that's all I needed. Oh shit, I can't even put any weight on it. There's no way I can lift the backpack. No way. I'm gonna have to set up camp where I am. I have to check what the weather will be though, because I'm super exposed. Ah! I have to call medevac. I checked the weather and it's the last day with no wind. Tomorrow the winds are going to be extremely strong and the day after even more. So I won't be able to either camp here and I can't move. I can't bend my knee.
Severe warnings across Atlantic Canada tonight. Dorian was strengthened to a Category 2 earlier today and is expected to make landfall tomorrow.
Fresh look at Dorian from the International Space Station. Minister of Public Safety and Emergency Preparedness Ralph Goodale tweeting, the Government of Canada is at the ready as Atlantic provinces prepare for the arrival of Hurricane Dorian in the region over the weekend.
Barreling towards the Maritimes, and there is no doubt now, Dorian will land as a full-strength hurricane.
It's not the pain. I'm so close. That's my exit point, where the river hits the lake, right there. I'm so close. I'm having a hard time getting back to my stuff. I'm gonna leave my backpack here and I'm gonna try and make my way to that cleared summit there. It might be a better place to land. I know I gave it all, but still I can't help feel that it's a failure of some sorts. I was so close. I think I found the route. Would I have been able to in the days of food I have left? I think so. I think so. I can't move my pack now, but maybe tomorrow I could have moved it, you know? I wish I could have waited out to see how I feel tomorrow. Maybe I could have kept going. That's right now, that's what I'm fighting with. And the winds are gonna be insane. I haven't seen yet winds that strong here. And I can't move. I can't move my camp. I'm on top. My tent would have been blown away. Sorry guys, I wish I could have given you a better ending than this. I wanted this so much. So close.
The disturbing weather report I had received finally made sense when I learned about post-tropical storm Dorian from the Coast Guard Search and Rescue Unit, and even they admitted that it would have been too risky to attempt the rescue had my distress call come in later that day. I'll never know what would have happened up there had I not hurt my leg when I did and sent out the SOS that quickly. I'm not even sure I would have made it the next 24 hours, so in hindsight, my injury was a true blessing in disguise and did bring about a fittingly dramatic ending to an epic journey.